Hey folks, Michael Warren here from Essential Guitar Lessons, and let's learn how to play A Little Ain't Enough on guitar by David Roth. This is great for intermediate to advanced players to practice joining rhythms and leads together. Now I'll go through the whole song, then we'll look at the solo at the end. So this song is by the awesome Becker, so there will be lots of little different techniques to cover. Now if you like this lesson, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for lessons and songs every week. If you're having any problems with the song, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Or there's a song you'd like to learn, let me know. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with an E power chord and we're going to do a build up with palm muting on that. So we're going to take 7th fret on the A string, 9th fret on the D and G. We play it once open and then we do a palm mute for one bar doing 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we do it again with the open, but we're going to add the open E string in this time as well. Chord doesn't change, and we do the first one as an open, then the palm muting again for one bar on our 8th note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So nice and slowly, easy start there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you can slightly come off on your palm mute there towards the end to build it up and up to speed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to call that our first intro, and that's pretty easy. It's just a build up on our E power chord. Now we're going to go into the second intro, which is nearly exactly the same as the chorus. So let's go through that now. So we're going to start again with the E power chord, 7th fret on the A string, 9th fret on the D and G. We play that once. Then we do a palm mute on the open E string. And now we're going to do a slide from the 7th fret to the 9th fret back to the 7th fret on the D, G and B string. So, and you can put a bit of vibrato at the end there. So. Then we're going to do 2 palm mutes on the open E string, and then 5, 6, 7 on the E string, and then a pinched harmonic on the 5th fret on the A string, and then we're going to do 5th fret hammer onto the 7th fret on the E string, and then 5th fret slide up to the 7th fret on the A string. So now let me go through that slowly for you. And up to speed now. First part, the bit we want to remember. And that's our first part, and we want to remember that because he uses that in every chorus. Now our next part's going to be the same, the start. We've got the 7 and 9 power chord on the A, D and G string. Then we do our palm mute on the open E string. Our slide between 7 and 9. Then we're going to play the 7 again, so 7 on the D, G and B string, play that and slide back. Then we're going to do the 7th fret on the A string, the 5th fret on the A string, then we're going to do the 5th fret again but on the E string. I'm going to do a pinched harmonic and a half bend. Then we're going to pull off to the 3rd fret, hammer onto the 5th fret, pull off to the 3rd fret, pull off to the open. So let me do that part slowly for you now as well. And up to speed. So now let's put all that together slowly. And up to speed now. He just does that twice, and that's our second intro, and we want to remember that start part because he uses that in the choruses all the time. So now let's jump into the first verse. So our first verse is nearly exactly the same as our intro there, except we're coming back to the 5th and 7th fret. So we're doing a D power chord, 5th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D and G. We play that once. Then Then we palm mute the 5th fret on the A string, and then we do our slide between the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the D, G and B string, so slide up and back. Put some vibrato on the end there if you want. Then we do 2 palm mutes on the A string, open. Then we're going to come to a chord here. We're going to play the 10th fret on the E and B and the 7th fret on the D and G, and we're going to do that twice. Then we're going to do the open A string again, palm mute. And then we're going to do a C chord just with a D shape. So 12th fret on the E string, 13th fret on the B string and 12th fret on the G string, and we do that twice. Then we're going to do an octave here. We're going to play the 3rd fret on the E string, the 5th fret on the D string. We're going to play that once and slide it back to 2 and 4. So let me do that slowly for you now. And we want to remember that part as well, because he's going to use that all the time in the verse. Let me play that up to speed now for you. Then our next part, we go back to the same start again. Power chord on the D, palm mute on the 5 on the A, our slide. Now this time we're going to palm mute the 3rd fret and the 5th fret on the E string, and then the 3rd fret and the 5th fret on the A string. And then we're going to do a pinched harmonic on the 3rd fret on the D string 2 times. Then we're going to play the open D string. Then we'll do the 5th fret harmonic on the D string, the 7th fret harmonic on the D, and the 5th fret harmonic on the D. So we play that for you slowly now. And up to speed. So now let's put the first part of that verse together, just slowly. So. And up to speed with the harmonics at the end there. Then the next part of the verse is going to start the same as the first part of the verse. So we have the D, our slide, our palm muting on the A, and our slide from 3 to 2 with our octave chord. Now the next part's going to start the same again. We're going to have the D power chord, palm mute on the 5th fret on the A, our slide between 5 and 7. Now this time we're going to do a bend on the 9th fret on the G string. We're going to play the 7th fret on the B, 7th fret on the E, and then on the B string 10, 8, 7. On the G string 10, 9, 8, 7. Then we're going to do the 5th fret harmonic on the D string, the 3rd fret harmonic on the D string, and then the 3rd fret harmonic on the G string. So we play that little part slowly for you. And let's put that second part up to speed now. And that's our verse there. Now we're going to jump into our pre-chorus. So our pre-chorus is going to start the same as our first chorus. The E power chord, palm mute on the open E string, our slide, 2 palm mutes, 5, 6, 7, pinched harmonic, 5, hammer onto 7, 5, slide up to 7. So. Then we do that again, 7 and 9, the E power chord, open E, palm muted, 7 and 9, slide. Then from there we're going to do a little run. We're going to start on the 7th fret on the G string, do a pinched harmonic. Then play the 7 again, pull off the 6 on the G, 7 and 6 on the D. Then we're going to go 7, slide to 5, slide back to 7 on the A. And then play the 7 again, slide back to 5 and do a full bend there. So slowly. Then from there we're going to put a slide in, and we're going to play a D power chord. We're going to use the open D string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B. We're going to play that and hold it for 1 bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to play an A power chord, so open A string, 2nd fret on the D and the G, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do the 3rd fret on the E string and pull off to the open. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to come up to our E power chord. We're going to play that once, do 2 palm mutes on the open E string, play a D power chord, 3 palm mutes on the open E string, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do the open E and B string, play that once. Then we're going to play 4 on the A string, 7 and 7 on the D and G, play that once. And then 2 palm mutes on the E string again, and then just a normal D power chord, 3 palm mutes on the E string, and then the open E and B again. So let me play that for you because that is confusing, that part. We'll go through it slowly first. So. Up to speed there. And then from there we're going to a C sharp minor chord, so 4th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the D and the G, and on the B string we're going to have the 5th fret. We play that once, and then we do the G string, the D string, to the B string, to the G string, holding that C sharp minor chord down. So then we're going to do a pull off on the A string, the 4th fret to the open, and then the 7th fret on the D string, open A string and palm mute that one, 6th fret on the D string, palm mute the A, 4th fret on the D string, palm mute the A, 2nd fret on the D string, palm mute the A. Then we're going to play a chord there. We're going to do 2nd fret on the A string, 1st fret on the D string, play that twice, and then do 1 palm mute on the A string, and then we're doing a B power chord from there, so 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D and G. Now we've got another little fill. We're going to bar the E and B string, 7th fret, and slide up to the 9th and come back to the 7th. Then we're going to do the same on the B and the G string, but this time the G string, 6th fret, the B string, 7th fret, slide up 2 frets and come back again. So we have. Then we're going to play the 4th fret, hammer onto the 6th on the G string, and then play the 6th fret on the D string, and then do the same on the D, 4, hammer onto 6, pull off the 4, then play the 6 on the A, and then we do it again, 4, hammer onto 6, hammer onto 4 on the A string, and finish on our B power chord there. So let me play that section for you slowly. And now our next part, we're going to go to an F sharp minor power chord. We're going to play the 2nd fret on the E string, the 4th fret on the A string, the 2nd fret on the G string, the 4th fret on the D string. Then we're going to play the 5th fret on the B string, the 2nd fret on the G, and the 2nd fret on the D. Then we're going to play an A power chord. We're going to play the 2nd fret on the G, the 2nd fret on the D. Then we'll play the 5th fret on the B, the 2nd fret on the G, and the 2nd fret on the D string. Then we're going to come up to A D power chord again, we're going to play that once, do 2 palm mutes on the A string on the 5th fret, 4 and 6, and play that once, and then 3 palm mutes, 2 and 4, 2 palm mutes, A power chord, 2 palm mutes, and then we're going to do a half bend on the 4th fret, a bend and release on the E string, pull off to the open, and then play the E and the B string open. And that gets us ready for the chorus. So let me do that part slowly for you now as well. So let me put that whole section now up to speed for you so you can see how it all goes together, because it is quite confusing. So let's jump into that. So our first chorus is going to start the same as our intro chorus. We have the E power chord, palm mute on the E string, our slide between 7 and 9, open E string, 5, 6, 7, pinched harmonic on the 5th fret on the A string, 5, hammer on to 7 on the E, 5, slide up to 7 on the A. So then from there we play our E power chord again, our palm mute on the top E string, our slide. Now we've got a different fill, we're going to do a bend on the 11, so full bend there on the G string, play the 9 on the B, play the 9 on the E, then we're going to do a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B, then another full bend on the 11 on the G, so we're going to do a bend and release here. Then we're going to play the 11 on the D string, the 11 on the G string, and then to the 9th fret on the G string. So let me play that first part of the chorus for you slowly. And up to speed. Then we do the start again for the next part of our chorus. So. Then we do it again. Now the fill changes, we're going to bar the 12th fret on the E and the B string and do a slide up to 14 and back to 12. So similar to our pre-chorus. And then the G and the B string, 11th fret on the G string, 12th fret on the B string, slide up 2 frets and come back again. And then we do a pinched harmonic with a full bend on the 11th fret on the G string. And then we just play 9, 10, 11, 12 on the B string and finish on the 9 on the G string. So slowly. Let's put that part together now as well, nice and slowly. And up to speed now, that second half of the chorus. And the start of our second verse starts the same as our first verse. So. Now the next part changes a little bit. We've got the D power chord, the palm mute on the A string, 5th fret. We want to go slide between 5 and 7, so the same start. Now we're going to palm mute 8 on the A string, so 8 and then 9. We're going to do the 10th fret bar the E and the B string 2 times. And then on the A string 10, 9. Then we're going to do a little down up palm mute, and then we'll play on the D string, we'll have the 10th fret, on the G string the 12th fret, and on the B string the 13th fret, play that once, and then we just bar the 12th fret on the D, G and B string and play that once. So let me do that slowly for you now. So let's do that up to speed, and we'll put that first part in as well. Then from there we do the same first part of the verse again. Now the run's going to change this second time. We do the D power chord again, 5th fret, A string, and a slide. Now this time we're going to play the 9th fret on the A string. We're going to jump to the G string, play the 7th fret, slide up to the 11th fret. We're going to play the 15th fret on the B string. Then we'll do a full bend and release on the 13, and then a full bend on the 15 on the B string there. So slowly. And let me put that together for you slowly now. Up to speed. Now the next pre-chorus is going to be exactly the same. It's only the start that's going to be a little bit different. Our run down is going to be slightly different. So we still have our E power chord. Now this part's going to be slightly different. We do the pitched harmonic on the 7th fret, play the 7-6 and a pull off there on the G string, 7-6 on the D string. Now we play 5, slide to 7, 5, slide back to 5 on the A string. Then we do a half bend on the 4th fret on the E string, bend and release, and then the open E string, and then the open E and B string. So it's only that little run there that's different in the pre-chorus. The rest of the pre-chorus stays exactly the same. So slowly. And up to speed. The rest of the pre-chorus stays exactly the same. So our second chorus starts the same as our other choruses. And now our run is going to be different. We're going to play the 9th fret on the B string, and easier if you bar this on the 9th fret. So we play the 9th fret on the B string, we do a pull off from the 11th fret to the 9th fret on the G, a pull off from 11 to 9 on the D, play the 9th fret again on the G, 11 to 9 pull off on the D, 11 to 9 pull off on the A, play the 9th fret D, then do a hammer on pull off 9 to 11, 9 on the A, just come back 2 frets, do the same thing, so 7, hammer on to 9, pull off to 7, and finish on the 5th fret there. So doing that slowly now. So I'll do that up to speed, then we'll put that first part of the chorus together. And the whole part there. And then our next part of the chorus stays the same again. And then we do it again. So then from there we've got a different little fill. We're coming up to the 12th fret on the E and the B string, bar that, and the 9th fret on the G string. We play that, slide up to the 14th fret, so slide up 2 frets. Come and play that one there once, and then come back, starting there. So and then from there we're going to do a full bend on the 11th fret on the G string, do a release, pull it off to 9, play the 11 on the G, and then just play the 9 on the B and the 9 on the G. So and up to speed there, putting that whole little fill together. And let's put that second part of the chorus together now. Now the next part of the chorus, same start again. Now we're going to do 2 palm mutes on the open E string. We're going to play 7th fret, pull off the 5th fret on the A string, and then 7, 6, 5 on the E, and we do that twice. So, and you palm mute the 7, 6, 5 on the E string, and then a pinched harmonic on the 7th fret on the D string. So let me play that for you now. This is the third part of the chorus. And the last line of the chorus, now we do the same start again. This next one will be the same one we did in the second pre-chorus. So we've got the pinched harmonic on the 7th fret on the G string, 7, pull off the 6 on the G, 7 and 6 on the D string, 5, slide to 7, 5 back to, slide back to 5 on the A string, half bend on the 4th fret on the E string and release, open E string and our open E and B string. So we've done that run before. So we play that last line of the chorus up to speed for you. So our next little section is just before the chorus. We're going to play a C sharp power chord, and we're just going to palm mute the A, D and G string. So 4, 6, 6, then come back to a B power chord, A string 2, D and G 4, 4, and an A power chord, same thing, A string, D string, G string, and then a half bend on the 4th fret on the E string, bend and release, and then palm mute on the 2nd fret on the E string 2 times, and the E string 2 times. Then we just play a D power chord like we did before 2 times, so open D string, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and we stop that there. Then we play it once again and we hold it, and we're going to do a pick slide and a slide down with our hand, and then we play it 2 times again, stop, and then we do another 2 times right before the chorus. So let me play that slowly for you. And then we do our D, and pick slide, and back to our D. So up to speed. And 2 more before our solo. And then our solo starts there, and we'll cover that at the end. Now our next part is our third pre-chorus. Now this changes a little bit because we're dropping the whole thing down 2 frets, so we're changing the key there. So now we're going to start on a B power chord. We're going to play the 2nd fret on the A, the 4th fret on the D, the 2nd fret on the A 2 times. So then we're going to play the power chord 3 times palm muted. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, up to speed. Now we play the 3rd fret E string, the 5th fret D string, 3rd fret E, 4th fret D, 3rd fret E, 2nd fret on the D, 3rd fret E, 5th fret on the A string, and then the open E string, and then we do our A power chord, and we're adding in the 5th fret on the E and the B string, and we play that twice. So slowly now. And then we do 3 palm mutes on the A string, open, 1, 2, 3. And then we do similar to before, but we're moving it down 2 frets, sliding on the 5th fret on the E and the B string, sliding up 2 frets and back again. Then on the G and the B, we're playing the 4th and the 5th fret, sliding up 2 frets and coming back again. Now we're playing the 2nd fret on the G string, hammering onto the 4th, pulling off to the 2nd. 4th fret on the D string, then the same on the D string, 2, hammer onto 4, pull off to 2. 4th fret on the A string, then on the A string we have 2, hammer onto 4, pull off to 2, pull off to O. So doing that slowly. Then from there we're doing an E minor chord. We're going to play the open E string, 2nd fret on the A, G open, 2nd fret on the D. Then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the B string, open on the B, open G, 2nd fret on the D. Then from there we're going to go to a G, so we're going to play that. We're not going to worry about the B string, we're going to mute that. G chord, open B, open G, and then 3rd fret on the E, 3rd fret on the B, and 2nd fret on the G string there. So let me go through that whole section slowly for you so you can see how it goes together. So then from there we just play a C power chord, 2 palm mutes on the 3rd fret on the A string, the B power chord, 3 palm mutes on the 2nd fret on the A string, the A power chord, 2 palm mutes on the A string, a G power chord, 2 palm mutes on the 3rd fret on the E string, and then 2nd fret on the E string, hammer onto the 3rd, pull off to the 2nd, pull off to the open, and finish on a D power chord. So. So now let's play that section up to speed. Then from there we go into our last chorus, so it's the same as our choruses before. Now this time the fill in here, we're going to do a full bend on 11 on the G string, play 9 and 9 on the B and E, do a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B, then we're going to slide from 11 to 13 on the G, we're going to play the 13 and the 12 on the G and the E string, then we're going to come up to the 14th fret and E and G again, 14th fret, 15th fret, just move it up, and 16th fret, move it up there. So slowly. And let's put that whole section up to speed now. And the next part starts the same again. Now our fill, we're going to bar the 12th fret on the E and the B string, play that once, hammer onto 14 on the B and pull off there. So, and then 14 on the G and B string and play that. So then we're going to do a pull off from 13 to 12 on the G string, a pull off to 14 to 12 on the D string, a pull off to 14 to 12 on the A string, and then do a pinched harmonic on the 11th fret on the A string. So and let's put that whole section up to speed. So the next part, same start again. Two palm mutes on the open E string, then on the E string 5, 6, 7 and A string 5, so palm mute that and do it twice, and then just a 7, pull off the 5, hammer on 7 on the E string, and then we bar the 7th fret on the A and D string and play that once. So and up to speed there. Then from there we do the same start again. Now we're going to do this sweep. We're going to start on the 10th fret on the E string, 9th fret on the A, hammer onto the 12th fret, 12th fret again on the D, 11th fret on the G, 10 and 10 on the B and E string. We're going to hammer onto the 14th fret, slide up to the 19th fret on the E string, pull off to 16 on the E, so we have pulling off to the 16, then we have the 17th fret on the B, the 16th fret on the G, slide back from there to the 13th fret on the G, 14 on the D, 14 on the A, pull off to 11 on the A, play the 12 on the E, slide back to 10 on the E, and then open E and B strings. And let's put that section up to speed as well. So then from there we just do our chorus again, first part. Now this end part's going to change and it's just going to do this to the end of the song, so let's tackle that. So from there we're just playing the 5th fret on the E and the B string, we do that 2 times. And then we're going to come back to the 4th fret on the E, 5th fret on the B once, 2nd fret on the E, 3rd fret on the B once, and then our open E and B. So let me put that together for you now. And it just keeps doing that to the end of the song with a solo over the top of it. But let's cover the main solo first. So we're going to start our solo on the A string on the 7th fret, and we're going to hammer onto the 8th and hammer onto the 9th. Then we play the 7th fret on the D, the 9th fret on the D, the 7th fret on the G, the 9th fret on the G. Then we do a full bend on the 9th fret on the G, let it come down, pull off to the 7th fret, and then we play the 9th fret on the D. And then we finish that with a full bend on the 10th fret on the B. So doing that slowly. And up to speed. And then from there we've got a little run down. We're going to play the 7th fret on the E, the 10th fret on the B, 7th fret on the B, on the G we're going to play 10, 9 and 7. And then we're going to do a slide from the 9th fret on the D, slide from 7 up to 10. So 9, 7, 10. Then from there we're going to do pull-offs on the D string, pull off from 10, pull off to 9, pull off to 7. So then we're going to play the 5th fret on the D, slide back to the 4th, slide back to the 5th, then slide up to the 7th, and then the 3rd fret on the A and slide back to 3. So let me put that first part together for you nice and slowly, then we'll do it up to speed. And up to speed there now, just that first section. Then from there we're going to play the 7th fret. Now this is tricky, this part. On the G string, do a bend on the 9th fret on the G, play 7 on the B, 7 on the E, 10, pull off to 7 on the B, and then we do that again, bend on the 9th fret on the G, 7 on the B, 7 on the E, 10, pull off to 7 on the B, bend on the 9th on the G, and then the 7 on the B. So slowly. And then on the G string, 10, 9, 7. Now as you get that up to speed, it's probably easier to do a bit of a sweep bit there. And then 10, 9, 7. And then from there we're going to do another full bend on the 9th fret on the G, release, pull off to 7, 9th fret on the D, and back to the 7th fret on the G. So slowly now. Now from there we're going to go to the 12th fret, hammer onto the 14 on the G, and then the 15th fret on the B, 14th fret on the G, and then a full bend on the 13th fret on the B, and then just play the 13th fret on the B there. So then we do a hammer from 12 to 13 on the B string. We're going to do a pull off from 14 to 10 on the E string, then play the 13th fret on the B, and then 12 pull off to 10 on the E, then on the B string 13, 12, 10, and then we do a little pedal tone here, 13 on the G, 10 on the B, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 11 on the G there. So slowly. Then from there we're coming up, sliding up to the 15th fret on the B string. We play 14 on the E, 15 on the B, 15 on the E, 15 on the B, 17 on the B, E, 15 on the B, and a full bend on the 17th fret, and then we do a full bend again on the 17th fret on the E. So and then from there we're 19th fret on the E, 20, 21, and a half bend there to finish it off. So that last little part slowly. And coming up to 19. So now let me play that whole thing up to speed for you so you can hear what it's going to sound like. And that's our first solo there. Now let's tackle the last solo at the end of the song. So we're just going to start on the 9th fret on the B string, and then we do a half bend on the 9th fret on the E string. Then we do the half bend again. Now we're going to do a pull off on the B string, 10, pull off to 9, pull off to 7, play the 9th fret on the G string, 7 on the B, slide up to 9, and back to 9 on the G. So up to speed. And then we do it again, but it changes a little bit the next time. 9, 9, half bend again on the 9 on the B string, then just play 10, 9, 9 on the G, 7 on the B, slide up to 9 and finish on 9 on the G. So it's only slightly different the second time. And it just goes between those two to finish the song off. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you soon.